Morning, gents. How are we?
Very
Very
well, mate.
good.
Very well.
Kev, tell me a little bit of this fella, Ugarte. I've seen him a few times, but don't know him that much. What sort of player do you think he is?
Well, he's very much a defensively minded midfielder, somebody who will win the ball back for you, get moves started. But what he isn't is particularly progressive. So you know what you're getting. He's not somebody who's going to score a lot of goals. He's not somebody who's going to split a defence open with a pass, but he'll get you started by winning that ball back. And if that's what you need, think Casemiro, but not as good at the moment. But of course, Casemiro seems to be on the slide a little bit. So they're thinking, long term. And I think he's somebody that when he got to PSG, started well, had some really good performances, but ultimately Luis Enrique decided that he wanted a more technical player at the base of his midfield. And in the end, they brought in João Neves, who's done very well in the opening couple of games. He's coming from Benfica, much better on the ball. But you know what you're getting with Ugarte, and there's a lot to like.
Yeah.
Kev, what about one of the kind of writing's been on the wall for a little while now? It looks as though it's going to happen. Obviously, McTominay's away to Napoli. I just said to Al earlier on, I think it's got to the stage. I think it probably suits all parties that he does get away, get playing. He was clearly never going to start every week in Eric Ten Hag's side.
Yeah, and I think he's shown for Scotland how important he can be, bursting into the box, getting those goals. He was a big part of what Scotland did getting to the Euros in the first place. Obviously, scored in the Euros as well.
Yeah.
And, you look at the fact that he has scored some important goals for United, but he does need a regular run of games. Napoli are trying to rebuild their midfield. They're trying to they made an awful start to the season, but had a very good win against Bologna at the weekend.
Yeah.
And so Antonio Conte knows what he's all about. And I think he just needs that change of scene, change of club, and it could be the making of him. There's a really good player there, I think. Just needs the right environment and needs to play.
Kev, I don't know if you got a chance last night. I'm just looking at the results. Salzburg going through against Dynamo Kiev.
Yeah.
This is the Champions League playoff second leg. Sparta Prague seeing off Malmo, and Galatasaray Young Boys. I didn't see the final score on that one. Can you?
Was it 1-0? I think it finished. Unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, which is a massive result, really.
For Young Boys?
Yeah.
For Young Boys,
wow.
Yeah, huge result. And they've obviously had Champions League, group stage games fairly recently. They played Manchester United not that long ago, but that's a huge step for them when you think Galatasaray, all the attacking talent they've got, all the money they've spent on that squad, and the fact that they got 102 points in the Turkish Super League last season. So, that was a really kind of eyebrow-raising result. Interesting game in Spain as well, actually. Dani Olmo finally registered for Barcelona.
Good player.
And scored late on. Yeah, it's purely going to be about whether he can stay fit.
Yeah.
And that's not his fault. These things happen. But if he can stay fit, he'll be a really good signing. So, yeah, they've started really well, actually. 3 wins out of 3 for Barcelona.
Kev, what about that? There's obviously a lot of people talking about the lack of movement from Liverpool this window, but it looks as though they're obviously interested in a couple, and Federico Chiesa, Juventus forward, and of course Mamardashvili, the goalkeeper at Valencia. That seems to be, is that a deal that's going to get done next summer, or is that going to get done now?
So, Mamardashvili, the deal is done, but he's not going to join until the next season.
Yeah.
And I think that makes sense, because what you don't want is to bring in a talented goalkeeper like that and stick him on the bench, because Alisson is the undisputed number one there, quite rightly. And he, as you'll know, Ali, from watching him at the Euros, I mean, he's a super goalkeeper, commanding. People always push back on this. I say he's a brilliant shot stopper, and they say, all goalkeepers should be a brilliant shot stopper. But if you compare him to a lot of other goalkeepers, he is outstanding. There's no doubt about that. If you look at his numbers in terms of doing what he did compared to what was expected from the data, he was top in La Liga last season. So there's a lot to work with. There's a lot to like, but you have to stagger it, because you've got a top goalkeeper in Alisson at the moment. Chiesa is really interesting if that gets done.
And it's a cut price deal by all accounts.
Yeah, I think he's a player that played regularly for Juventus, but they've changed their manager. Thiago Motta's come in. He's got very specific ideas about what he wants. They've brought in guys like Conceição, Nico Gonzalez. They've got lots of good attacking players there, and he's going to end up the odd man out. He hasn't regained the form that he had at the Euros when Italy won the tournament because he had that really serious ACL injury. But there's still a lot to like there, and he's only 26. So, you know, there's capacity. And if Liverpool have so much quality in those wide areas, he isn't going to have to play every single game. So you can hopefully ease him in. So that makes sense.
Kev, thank you. Listen, lots going on, and it's going to get more. What was that, a couple of days left now to the transfer window?
End of the month, isn't it?
Yeah. But there's one or two still to come. I'm sure there is. Kev, thank you for that, and of
Thanks,
course,
Kev.
can't
Have a
wait
good
for
day,
Champions League. Ali, just a quick one. I want to talk about Rangers, but also this boy at Villa. I'm like, who's this guy, Rodgers? What a good player he looks.
I tell you, well, I obviously didn't see the whole game. I watched the highlights. I was talking to Andy Townsend about him, and Gabby yesterday. I was talking to Gabby yesterday, and you was talking to somebody else. I was talking to Gabby yesterday. By the way, both of them said really lively, looks a real deal. So as I say, I only saw the highlights.
Was
I
he
thought
not
to myself,
at City with Cole Palmer when they were kids? I've got a feeling he came from City, but I love the way he runs with the ball.
Oh yeah, direct, positive. Yeah, he looked. I thought he looked terrific. I really do. As I say, I only saw the highlights. But Andy was at the game, did the game live. Said he looks a real deal. So I'll need to keep an eye on him.
Here's a quickie, Ali. Chairman Dave King, Rangers, insists there is no truth whatsoever to reports claiming US-based takeover interest in the club. South African-based businessman has broken his silence after claims Rangers were attracting interest from America. City AM claim that American investors are interested in taking over the Ibrox club. It claims they value the club around 150 million. The report also claims that a number of existing Rangers shareholders are open to selling their stake in the club. Here we go again.
Oh, I don't know, but something's got to be done. I couldn't tell you whether it's good or bad because I don't know anything about the potential American investors, right? I don't know anything about them. I don't know their background. However, the fact that Dave King is insisting there's no truth whatsoever, I would have to take Dave's word for it and say that there's obviously there's no interest, or well, maybe not so much no interest, but at this moment in time there certainly doesn't look as though there's a deal to be done. But I tell you what, I mentioned last week in a conversation, I think it was with Jeff, I'm just deeply concerned about what's happening. Do you know what I mean? It really looks as though there's a good few going to have to get out the door before they can bring or certainly spend any money to bring anyone in. So yeah, there's a lot of concerned Rangers fans out there, and I'm one of them.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.